Hi, I'm Dick Eydt from Bites by Eydt. We have a catering company in Atlanta, Georgia, and we provide exquisite food to our clientele in Atlanta, the surrounding areas, up in New York, Connecticut, Nantucket, and down to Florida. And most recently, last week, we did one in Crossville, Tennessee. Today we're going to do another summer great dish, a watermelon salad with feta and mint and a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to do probably my favorite, a flash fried lobster with a white wine beurre blanc sauce. And then we're going to do a dish that we did for the rehearsal dinner in Crossville, Tennessee, Johnny cakes. It's a Rhode Island tradition, but there's a little southern flair to it, and we'll add maple syrup to it and extra thick cut bacon. Let's begin with the watermelon salad. So with the watermelon, make sure it's cold, and we'll cut this into bite-sized pieces, probably a 1-inch cube or so. I'm not going to use the end pieces at all. And I'm going to cut off the ends so it'll make it easier to work with. And then I'll stand it up and I will shave off the rinds. Just taking a little section at a time and working my way around. Once again, haste makes waste. Take your time. There's plenty of watermelon, and there's nothing like a good watermelon. When I bought the watermelon, I thumped it, and as the watermelon ripens, the meat of it contracts, and so it creates a hollow sound. So you're looking for a nice thump, a hollow sound in there, and you can see in here that it's quite sweet. It's not overly ripe, and it'll be quite yummy. And again, I do serve this cold, and it's a great summer refreshing dish. Adding the mint to it is even more refreshing. Mint is so plentiful in the summertime. And there we go. I'll flip it over and cut out any of the white pieces. I'll cut it down the middle. Again, make it easy to work with. Put this off to the side. Cut the sides off. I won't be using. You could use, but I won't. And we're going to have nice cubes out of this. Probably a good inch thick. So you can see the thickness of it, and that will be a nice bite. Theoretically, this is a seedless watermelon, which it is mostly. And here we go. So that's about the bite-sized piece we're looking for. If you want to cut a little smaller, you can, but I like that size. I'm going to cut out the seeds in here. There's a collection of seeds. Shave that one down so we have a nice rectangle. Here's a good piece here. I'll cut this out, won't use it. A lot of seeds and holes in it. And then cut this. Another nice rectangle. Pretty easy, right? Put this in a bowl. I'll add the feta cheese, and there you go for that. We'll crumble in some feta cheese on this. I'll just put it in the top for now. I'll add the olive oil and the mint. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to wait a little while to serve this, so I'm going to keep it whole like that. And I'll take some mint and cut that, roll it, cut it, chiffonade. It will release all the oils from the mint. One more few pieces. I can smell the mint just by breaking my hands, how nice it is. Get this at the farmer's market. It's quite delightful. If you don't want to make it a fine cut, you could just cut it coarsely. Either way is fine. I'll show you both the ways. Since the mint is so small, it's a little bit harder to do in a chiffonade. or you could take it and cut it up coarsely. Either way, you're opening up the oils in the mint, good fragrant, and push that around. And there you go. A very simple, easy watermelon feta mint salad. It's great in the summertime. So let's clean up and we'll get ready for the next course. Okay, now let's go on to the flash fried lobster with the beurre blanc lemon butter sauce. One of my favorites. Okay, we're going to cut the back of the lobster tail. I like using lobster tails. It's all meat. When I cook with it and cut it, it is all evenly uniform pieces, as opposed to doing a Maine lobster with the claws and the tails are smaller. This is just an easier way to go. So that's probably a good 3.5, 4 ounce piece. I'll take this and cut it down the middle. And then you can see the little pieces in there that are naturally cut. So I'll go along those. And when I do the flash fried, that'll be the size of each piece. They'll get smaller as I move down the tail, but I don't want to really disturb the natural selection of the tail. Take out this part, yucky. We're going to take this, dredge it in flour, and then we're going to flash fry it in oil. It could be vegetable oil or corn oil, just sort of a high burning oil, somewhere in the 350 to 380 range. Take a little flour, dredge it in the flour. You could use salt and pepper. I don't, because once I make the beurre blanc sauce, it'll have great flavor to it. If I want to sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on it afterwards, I can. If you wanted to make it a little spicy, you could put some cayenne pepper in there, paprika, but I just like the taste of lobster with butter and a white wine sauce and cream. It's pretty decadent, but they are sort of small pieces. I serve this at a lot of this at parties. Just line the plate. You'll see how I present it with little toothpicks so people can grab it, and it's one of those fan favorites. Gotta have fan favorites. That's what the clients like, so that's what I make. So that's good. We have the lobster ready to go. Let that sit, clean as you go. And I'm going to cut the shallots. I like to use a slightly serrated knife, and it grabs the skin and easily peels away. It's a lot better than using your fingernails to try to get it away. Comes off in a couple easy steps. There you go. Clean as you go. Sort of a thin cut. I don't want it coarse. I want it as thin as I can get it. And I'll probably slice this 2 or 3 times. 1, 2, let's give it one more, and 3. There we have our shallots. Okay? So, we'll take this to the back and start cooking off. So now we're going to make the beurre blanc sauce, and then we're going to flash fry the lobster. A little olive oil in the bottom of the pan. Get that up to temperature. We'll add the shallots, saute those. Once those are translucent, we'll add the cream to it. Okay, the shallots are starting to brown a little bit here nicely. Another minute or 2, and I'll turn down the heat and we'll add the cream to it. You could add garlic to it, but again, I think it's too much. All we really want is the wine and the cream and the butter. So let's add some wine to it. I use a Chardonnay. Whenever I cook with wine, I always use the wine that I drink. This is a nice Chardonnay from California. It's fine, has a good aroma. It will go well with the lobster. A Chardonnay, I wouldn't use anything lighter like a Sauvignon Blanc. I think a nice Chardonnay works well. Yep, I can hear it, and it was up to about 350 or so a few minutes ago. So we're going to be in good shape there. The wine is starting to evaporate. In the meantime, I'll test one of the lobsters and flash fry it. Again, I'll move it around. These really only take about 2 minutes to cook, and it's a good temperature right now. So I'm going to put some more in there. Whenever you put it in, just lay it down, don't drop it down. You don't want to splash, you don't want to burn yourself with the oil. Okay, I'm going to, again, separate them, let them cook. These pieces are a little bit bigger than the other ones that are left here, so they'll take a little bit longer. I'll tilt the pan so I get more oil in there and it cooks evenly. They'll turn slightly brown, and I'd say another minute and they'll be flash fried. We'll take them out and put it on some absorbent papers, paper towels, and I think these are good to go. Take a look at that. Nice coloring. You can see all the lobster to it. They look pretty. They taste wonderful. Turn off the heat. We don't need any more. Oh, that smells good. Another minute on that. I'll fry up the rest of these lobster pieces. The crew can have some, and that'll be ready to go. Okay, add the heavy cream to it. Stir this, and we'll let that cook and reduce. When you do the lobsters, you don't want to put them all in the pot. The temperature will come down too quickly. You want to do small batches. They'll be fine when you take them out. They'll stay warm. With the beurre blanc sauce and the white wine, the butter, it will still be warm. It'll be very tasty, so there's no need to overdo it, but you want to keep the temperature up so you get a nice little browning on it and a flash fry. If it's too low of an oil temperature, the lobster will absorb the oil and it'll be greasy. You don't want that. Okay, these are almost ready. Again, we're multitasking here. Here's the sauce, reducing down. You could make the beurre, ooh, it smells so good. You could make the beurre blanc sauce ahead of time and just let it sit. If you do that, do not keep it on the heat. Take it all the way off the heat, otherwise the sauce will separate. So you could make it half hour, hour in advance, just keep it warm, but not on the heat. I did that once, broke it, had to start over again. Okay, these are ready to go. Take these off. They look fantastic. See the nice crispness, brown, they're cooked. That's heaven. The sauce, it's come almost to a boil. If I had my thermometer gun, we'd probably be at about 190, 185. And now we'll add the butter to it and stir that in. So how much butter do you want, Dick? Well, it is a beurre blanc sauce, right? So you got to have a fair amount of butter in there. It's not even a tablespoon of sauce that, you know, it's a quarter of a tablespoon that you're having. So it's really not that as decadent as it sounds for your diet, but it is. When you serve this to your guests, they're just gonna love it, and they won't care about a little bit of butter or a little bit of cream. And there we go. I'm going to add a little bit of flour to it, just to thicken it up a bit. You could add cornstarch to it. Just make sure you stir it, cook it all the way through. I'm going to cook this just for about a minute or so. Let it thicken up. Keep on stirring it so we don't get any lumps of flour in our sauce. In the meantime, I'm going to move this up to the front and start plating it. So we cooked off the cream, the flour, the shallots, and you can see the nice sauce there. I'm going to plate this down and I'll lay the lobster on top of it. It's enough sauce so people can move the lobster around. Plate this up. It's a nice bite-sized piece. It's got wonderful flavor. There you go. Flash fried lobster, white wine beurre blanc sauce. Okay, so now we're going to make the Johnny cakes. A little southern style with a little maple syrup, a little extra thick bacon. So 2 cups of flour. It doesn't have to be sifted. Okay. 3 tablespoons of sugar. If you're in the South, everything has to be sweet. A couple pinches of salt. And some butter. 2 tablespoons. And a little bit of water. Mix this together. Calls for 2 cups of water. It's just cornmeal, sugar. I think that's good. I might add a little more cornmeal just to thicken it up a little bit. And we're gonna saute these, fry these, we're in the South, for about 2 minutes. So I'll make little pancakes with it. But it's a cornmeal pancake. Okay, so you can see the consistency. It's not like a pancake, but it's very loose. And we'll shape it, and then I'll drop it in. Okay, so we'll take a little bit of the Johnny cake cornmeal, plop it on down, smooth it out with your hands, right in the pan. We'll just do a couple of these guys at a time, not too big, sort of like a silver dollar pancake. And you want to flatten it out. Again, the oil's not too hot, it's probably about 350 or so. You can see it starting to brown around the edges. And when you make these, you can make them, 4 at a time, let them sit, and then serve them up. Because we're going to serve it with warm maple syrup and bacon. And it's just a nice little carbohydrate, southern thing, even though they're from Rhode Island. It's fun, it's different, a little unusual. Who doesn't like pancakes or cornmeal with bacon and Vermont maple syrup? So you can see it starting to brown around the edges. So let's take a look and flip it. Nice coloring on that. The heat's not on too high, you don't want it to burn. Take our time. We can see it browning at the edges. I'd say another 30 seconds on this one. I put this one on a little bit sooner. It'll have a nice cornmeal, crunchy flavor, taste to it. It's nice. Okay, let's scoop this one up, flip it over. These guys are ready. And then the last one. So nice coloring on it. It's a pancake, so if the heat is too high, it'll be burnt on the top, it'll be burnt in the bottom, it'll be raw inside. So it can't be too high of a temperature. 350, 325 is a good number. Let it cook all the way through. So like when I do my Toblerone lava cakes, and the ramekins, the top is cooked, the bottom is cooked, the side is cooked, and you cook it at 450 for exactly 14 minutes, and then the inside is gooey. So when you flip it over and you cut it, the chocolate comes out. So this, we don't want it that way, we want it cooked all the way through. Another 30 seconds and we'll have our Johnny cakes ready to go. Okay, let's pull these off. We'll plate it up. Let's do a cleanup first, get organized. Okay, so let's plate these up. I'll put the lousy ones on the bottom and then put the nicer ones on top. Okay, take some of the bacon, extra thick bacon. So I always cook the bacon on parchment paper and about 400 degrees for 30-35 minutes. By using the parchment paper, it will cook in its own oil. So they'll stay nice and long and they won't shrivel up. You know, you can always put extra bacon on anything and it tastes pretty good. I'll drizzle a little, I always use Vermont maple syrup. If you're going to have a dish like this, you might as well use a good quality and put a little on top, a little on the sides. And here are the Johnny cakes. I'm going to clean this up, put it off to the side. I'm going to give one little toss of the watermelon salad. Add a little bit more extra virgin olive oil from Colavito. Look at the great coloring that it has. That's why you want to use extra virgin. Give this a slight toss. Everything gets mixed in there. And this is quite divine. Hope you enjoyed our watermelon and feta salad with mint, a little olive oil. If you wanted to use a vinegar in there, you could. I don't like it like that. One of my favorites, the little bits of flash fried lobster with a white wine beurre blanc sauce, and then Johnny cakes with extra thick bacon and Vermont maple syrup. It's another great summer little taste bits. It's one of our fan favorites. I want to thank you. I want to thank our sponsors, the Colavito Extra Virgin Olive Oil and Little Leaf Farms lettuces. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the next show.